Hey, what is up everyone? Welcome back to another video. In this video we will be looking at the string formatting in a print statement. So often in your program you will want to inject a variable into your string for printing. For example, if you do have a variable by the name of my name and you assign it I am a hacker or Mr. Hacker, and you want to print it out in a print statement with a string which is hello, and you want to suppose print hello Mr. Hacker or something like that. So you will just use the string concatenation, which we have learned in our previous video, and you can get the job done. But there are multiple ways to format the string for printing variables in them. This is known as string interpolations, which is just really a fancy way of saying stick a variable inside a string in a print statement. So in this video we will be basically using two methods for sticking a variable inside a string, or for string interpolation, whatever you want to call it. The first method would be the .format method, and the second method would be formatted strings literals, or f strings in general. So let's get started with looking at some examples and you will understand what really I'm talking about. So in this video I will not be going through the concatenation method because we already discussed that in the previous video, and if you are interested I will link it down in the description. But let's look at the .format method first. So it is really simple to do that. You just write print, and then this is a string. You just write a string, and wherever you want to insert some string or some variable, you just add a placeholder there for that string in the form of two curly braces. Once you do that, you add dot and then write format and add round brackets and insert, and inside these round brackets you insert whatever you want to show right over here in these brackets. So suppose I want to show inserted right over here, and if I press shift enter you would see that the text comes up with this is a string, and the inserted part comes as inserted. So this is the .format method. You can just write the string and then a placeholder for the string. Wherever you want to insert something you just add curly braces there, and then you write format and insert whatever you want to format. So you would say that why do we even need this method, because we can do this with the string concatenation. Well, this has a lot of different types of advantages. So suppose you want to insert 3 or 4 strings at the same time, so you can do that by controlling them with your indexes. So suppose if I'm willing to write this curly braces or placeholders, and then write format and then insert 3 values. The first one would be the fox, brown, quick, and if I just press shift enter you would see that, and I spelled that wrong, so let's make the spelling correct, and then so it comes up with the fox brown quick, which is indeed what we expected, because what the format function does is if I provide multiple values it assigns it some indexes, and by default the first placeholder gets the value with 0 index, and the second gets with 1, and so on and so forth. And what this format function does is when I pass some values to it, it just create indexes in ascending order. So the fox gets 0 index, the brown gets 1 index, and the quick gets 3 index. So suppose I want to make this syntax correct, and I want to insert these in a certain sequence. Suppose I want to make this the quick brown fox. So what I will do, this quick has the index of 2, while the brown has the index of 1, and the fox has the index of 0. Once I do that and press shift and enter, you would see that it just rearranged the text or the string in the order I have provided. So it says the quick brown fox. And you can also repeat these. What other advantage this index have is you can also repeat these strings. So suppose I want to print the fox, fox, fox. So I will just provide 0 inside these brackets and press shift and enter. You would see that it prints out the fox, fox, fox. What other thing than indexes you can do is rather than accessing these values with indexes, you can also assign them keys. So suppose I write the same sentence, which is print the brackets, brackets, and brackets, and then come over here and write dot format. And instead of depending on the indexes, I just assign keys. So suppose I assign F key to this fox and Q key to this, B key to this brown, and Q key to this quick, and press shift enter, you would see an error. Well, I'm just joking because I forgot to add this second. It's still providing us an error because we do have to provide some keys right over here. So that would be so suppose I want to add this in the same manner. So that would be Q, and this would be B, and this would be Q. Once I press shift and enter, you would see that the quick brown fox, the quick brown no, it's the quick brown fox. So it's the same with these keys as well. So it works the same way the way it was working with the indexes. You can just provide the key right over here inside the brackets, and it will print the same thing out right over here. So this was the first method in which we looked at the dot format. You can also look at this dot format function on the internet. You will find a lot of different examples, but in this limited time I was only able to make you understand what this format function is. Okay, so now let's also talk about how to format some float numbers inside the print statement. So here I have written the variable $result and made it equal to 100.0 and divided it by 777. So it gave me the result of 0.128 with a long decimal number. So right now, if I'm willing to format this, I can easily format it using the using the dot format function. So what I can do, I can write print the result is and in the same manner we did and I can do it in the same manner the way we did with the string. So I can just add the curly braces as the placeholder, and inside that placeholder I can do 3 things. So let's first write the format function, and then we will look at how to arrange the floating point number. So we will use the indexing method, which would be R as an index and result as the actual variable that we want to print. So if I do that, you would see that I'm having an error, and it's because we do need to provide this key right over here. So once I provide the key, you can see that it prints out the result is 0.128 and further the number. So I don't want this floating point number to show it like that. So if I'm willing to arrange this floating point number, like suppose I want to show just the 2 numbers after the decimal point, so I can do that by just coming right over here and add a colon right over here and then provide the width. So in most cases the width would be 1, and I will explain in a little bit what this width works and how to add this. And after the width I will add a dot, and after the dot I will provide how many numbers I want to show after the decimal, and after everything I will add an F. So once I do that, you would see that it just rounds up the number and show it to me in the format I provided. So now let's play around with this width. If I increase the width, you would see that the width of this actual number gets increased. So this entire thing is the width of this number right now, because I have provided 10 and there isn't 10 numbers. So what it will do, it will leave this extra space right over here and just shift the number to the right side. And if I play around with this decimal point, you would see that it will increase the number, like it will increase the precision of this number by adding more numbers after the decimal point. So this was a little bit about how to format your floating point numbers inside the print statement using .format function. So now we know a little bit about the .format function. Now let's also discuss the second type of thing, which was the string literals or F strings. So suppose I have a variable by the name of name and I have made it equal to Mr. Hacker. So once we assign the Mr. Hacker to the name variable, now what you would normally do in order to print this out with a string, you will just write print function, and inside that print function you will write some strings that could be hello, your name is, and you will add the placeholder. Once you add the placeholder, you will write .format, and then you will pass in the name. So that will just print out hello, your name is Mr. Hacker. If you want to do the same thing with string literals or the F strings, as we discussed, we'll discuss two things. The first one was .format and the other one was F strings. So what you do, you will come right over here, and after the print and starting bracket you will add an F, and after adding the F you will remove the .format function, and just directly inside the placeholder you will add the variable itself. And if you press shift and enter, you would see that it will bring the same result as it was bringing with the .format function. So many people prefer this F strings or strings literal, and this is indeed a fairly new option that's been provided in Python 3.6 by the Python developers. A lot of different people, a lot of the Python users were requesting this feature because many of the major languages like Python, like PHP and other languages provide these string literals. So if you are coming from another language to Python, you will just love these string literals or the F strings. But it's also useful to use the .format function because it provides you with these different options that you can use with floating point numbers and other stuff like that. So from this point onwards, it completely depends on your choice and your programming style, which one to use and which one to go with. One thing else I want to discuss is that the F strings are not limited to using just or inserting just one variable inside the string. If I create another variable by the name of age and make it 20, then I'm willing to echo out these both variables, the one my name and the age, both at the same time in one string. So I can do that by coming right over here and writing the print F and then the string itself, and it was echoing out this one variable. But now if I'm willing to add another one, I will add some string your age is, and inside the inside this placeholder I will just echo out that age variable. And if I press shift and enter, you will see that it will print out hello, your name is Mr. Hacker and your age is 20. If I'm willing to do the same thing with the .format function, what I will do, I will just copy and paste the statement and I will write hello, your name is, I will just remove this and just come over here and write format, and to the format I will provide the first argument as name and the second argument as age. If I press shift and enter, you will see that it will comes up with the same result. So as I have said, from this point onwards, it really depends on your coding style and your personal preference, what you want to use and what you want to go with. You can use both of them. They are not that much different. The syntax is the same and everything is the same. So this is pretty much it for this video. As promised, we discussed in this video the .format function as well as the f strings or string literals in Python. So you can use both of them, you can work with both of them, and in the next video we'll work with lists, or we will discuss list in the next video. So till next time, enjoy hacking or programming, whatever you are working with. Have a pleasant day. Bye for now. Stay cheeky breeky. Peace out.